We've heard it since we took the driver's seat.
My leg was outside, pinned between the ground and the roof of the truck.
The road is a hazardous place.
The year you get your driver's license is the most dangerous year of your life.
But safety behind the wheel can't wait until you get your learner's permit.
Children under 2 need to be riding in a car seat rear facing.
From the very young to teens just learning to drive. From distracted drivers
There is no message that can't wait till you get to your destination.
to older drivers
Birthdays don't cause crashes. It is really about health issues.
and beyond.
We can peel back layers and look at how specific bones react to the forces.
Understanding our limitations and our responsibilities on the road are critical for all ages to live a safe life behind the wheel. Reina Hernandez is having a homecoming of sorts. For months, she called the halls and operating rooms here at Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center home. Today, even the smallest details evoke images of an ordeal that dramatically changed her life.
I remember just the lighting and the view, sort of laying in the bed from below. Some of the rooms would have maybe 8 lights in a circle, and some of the rooms would have this big, expansive circle with little lights.
Unfortunately, these aren't memories of a bad dream. They are recollections of a horrific crash that left her fighting for her very survival.
It was a couple of days before Christmas. We were driving down to visit my aunt, and everyone was sleeping in the car except for my mom and me. And then I remember all of a sudden just having this feeling that something had gone wrong. It happened quickly, but there's still this slow motion feeling of the lights hitting something, and I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, what's happening?
The truck carrying Reina and her family veered off the road. It struck a bridge embankment, sending the vehicle into a violent roll. When it came to rest, her family walked away virtually unscathed. But Reina, not wearing her seatbelt at the time, would not be so lucky.
I tried to do a bit of a self-check, and I couldn't feel my legs.
As rescue workers arrived to assist, the reality of Reina's circumstances emerged.
They realized that the truck was actually on top of my leg. My body was inside of the vehicle, but my leg was outside, pinned between the ground and the roof of the truck.
After carefully extracting Reina from the wreckage, she was rushed to nearby Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center. There, a team of doctors, led by Chief Pediatric Trauma Surgeon Dr. Victor Garcia, assessed her condition.
It was one of the most devastating injuries. There was contamination as far as dirt and debris inside her wound. Her pelvis was fractured in multiple places. There was exposed bone. There was an enormous amount of blood loss, so she came in shock, but still awake, so to speak.
For Reina, the night of the crash was the beginning of an epic struggle. First to survive, and then to recover from her injuries. But for Dr. Garcia, the Hernandez's crash was the beginning of something else. It brought into focus a trend he had been tracking for some time: the immense disparity of motor vehicle-related injuries in Black and Hispanic populations.
We identified that African Americans and Hispanics actually had more years of life loss per mile driven than any other segment of the population. That to me was unconscionable.
Statistics show that African American and Hispanic children are 3 times more likely to die in a car crash than Caucasian children. Moved by these numbers, Dr. Garcia and his trauma team, in collaboration with Toyota, created a program called Buckle Up for Life, designed to address the root causes of this phenomenon.
We're going to be talking about motor vehicle safety.
Buckle Up for Life is a community-based program that uses the community to instruct its members on not only how do you address the barriers, for example, owning a car seat, but also how do you then install that car seat, and why is it important not only for you, but also for your children and your children's well-being.
Restraints in cars are not a new phenomenon. Ideas for keeping people safe in cars have been around since the 1800s. But a car seat designed to protect children in the event of a crash is a relatively new innovation of the 1960s. Since then, the technology to keep people safe in cars has quickly evolved. And today, along with massive public campaigns to promote the use of car seats and safety belts, riding in a car is a much safer endeavor.
Today, the first thing that 85%, 86% of the people do is buckle up. That's the first thing that people do. A lot of lives have been saved. If you have your seatbelt on, you're probably going to save your life in an accident. You're probably going to save a serious injury in an accident.
Despite advances in technology, vehicle crashes remain the leading cause of death for infants and toddlers in the United States, with Black and Hispanic children overrepresented compared to their population size.
Prevention is the best medicine.
Buckle Up for Life is working to address this disparity.
We believe that it is a combination of lack of education and lack of economic resources. Not everyone can afford a car seat. So with Buckle Up for Life, what we have set up to do is to break barriers.
To reach these goals, Buckle Up for Life started a three-prong approach, emphasizing proper car seat installation, education, and access to technology.
Everybody, thanks for coming. Today, I'm going to teach you how to install a car seat properly.
Director Gloria Del Castillo is one of the program's instructors.
Everybody, you know that car seats are the safest way to travel for children?
It's estimated over 70% of car seats are not properly installed. So Buckle Up for Life made this a major focus.
The safest place in the car is the back seat.
Proper installation begins with knowing which direction to place the car seat. Infants are more vulnerable to neck injury in a crash, so precautions must be taken to mitigate this.
Children under 2 years old need to be riding in a car seat rear facing.
First, the tethers on the car seat are attached to the manufacturer's anchors in the vehicle.
All you have to do is find your metal bars, make sure that my belt is routed through the correct belt path, and you hook the car seat in place. Once your car seat has been tethered to the vehicle, you need to make sure that it doesn't move more than an inch from side to side.
Correct installation is just the beginning.
Okay, Dayron. So we're going to get you into your car seat.
To maximize safety, the child must be properly strapped into the seat as well.
We don't want any padding in between the straps and our child. For forward-facing children, we want to make sure the straps are at or above the shoulder level. When children are small, their shoulders tend to be rounded, and that makes the straps fall off of the shoulders. We don't want that to happen. So the retainer clip will make sure that the harness stays over the shoulders, right, like that. One thing you can do is you take 2 fingers, and if you're able to pinch any webbing, then it's not snug enough.
The classes have proved very successful. But to educate people on the importance of car seats and seatbelts in the first place, Buckle Up for Life launched a program within minority communities. They partnered with an institution trusted in both the Hispanic and Black communities.
The role of the church in influencing the Hispanic community is something that was a no-brainer as far as using the church to influence human behavior that actually promoted the health and well-being of not only the child, but also the parents.
Buckle Up for Life launched a series of after-service classes aimed at different age groups to disseminate critical information about vehicle safety.
If mom and dad are driving and they need to pay attention to the road, what do you guys need to do?
Do not disturb the parents or you might crash.
Uh-huh.
Young children are taught how to behave in the car and about what happens in a crash with an illustration using a toy car and an egg.
Let's see what happens. Oh, hold that up for me.
Ew.
Ew. Now imagine if that was you and you weren't wearing your seatbelt. Okay?
In a room down the hall, teenagers are getting a more graphic explanation of what happens in a crash and learning about the dangers they will face as they begin their lives on the road.
55 miles an hour for 5 seconds. How far do you drive? 5.
With the use of interactive games and quizzes, the teens learn about distracted driving as well as the risks of drinking and driving. Valuable lessons for young people facing a potentially dangerous time in their lives.
Stand up for yourself. You guys have a right to be safe. You have a right to get home safely. Don't be afraid to tell people that they have a responsibility to you as a passenger to take care of you and to help you out.
A final class taught to the parents covers crash dynamics and tries to address cultural and educational gaps among people in the Hispanic community, many of whom are new to our roads and highways.
We do not have in Latin America very many laws that address this issue. So when immigrants come to this country, they don't have the education, they don't have the habits, they don't have the culture of buckling up or having their children in car seats. Algo me pasa a mí.
These classes are often taught in Spanish, the primary language most of the participants speak.
¿Qué le pasa a ustedes?
But education can only go so far. For the program to truly be effective, everyone must have access to the life-saving technology being highlighted.
We provide the resources that they need to keep their children safe. In this case, we provide free car seats and booster seats to all of the families that come and participate in the program.
Reina's story is a clear example of the difference proper use of car seats can make in a crash. Her little brother, restrained in a car seat, was unhurt. Same circumstances, very different results.
I think if you need any comparison as far as the importance of child's passenger seats, you'd have to just look at the injuries sustained and the injuries spared. Her brother was hardly scathed. Had she been restrained, I doubt that she would have suffered the severity of the injuries that she had.
Though data is difficult to gather in terms of its success, there is little doubt that through education and increased access to technology, Buckle Up for Life is making an impact. So far, they've established programs in Kentucky, Ohio, Texas, Illinois, and California, with plans to eventually expand nationwide. For Reina, it's comforting to know that her long ordeal contributed to a program that is saving lives.
I feel blessed to be a part of it. Every single child that gets saved, every single injury that gets prevented, that child will go on to become an adult that will do things, great things, and you never know what those might be.
For Dr. Garcia, seeing Reina again is a reminder of the importance of the work he and the Buckle Up for Life team are doing. Her success as a lawyer, a Harvard graduate, and now an education administrator are proof that all segments of society need and deserve the resources to keep them safe.
An inspiration. If you took the comparison that this was an infectious disease, a scourge, a plague, there would be this outcry among the entire population. There would be this seeming disbelief that our government, our leaders are not doing something, and there would be a demand that something be done. There is something that can be done, and the equivalent of a vaccine that has eliminated smallpox and polio is child passenger safety. That is our vaccine.